Man, I really hate being the one to bring this kind of news. Honestly, I'm confused, I'm hurt, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan. Actually, rest in peace to Dequantes Devontay Lamar, the man behind the music, the life behind the legend. Now, while the official cause hasn't been confirmed, word has spread that Rich Homie Quan passed away today due to an overdose. He was just 34 years old. 34, man, gone way too soon. For those who don't know, Rich Homie Quan was a true Atlanta native, East Atlanta to be exact. And before the fame, he was just a regular kid, an excellent student with a real talent for baseball. He was so good that he even earned a scholarship for his skills on the field. But like so many stories that start with promise, the streets had their own pull. Fast money, the allure of something bigger right at home. He made the decision to stay in the neighborhood, a decision that eventually landed him in jail for breaking and entering. And it was in that low point, in those cold prison walls, that Rich Homie Quan found his spark. In his own words, jail made him a man, and it gave him a passion for music that would soon define his life. After his release, he didn't waste any time. In 2012, he dropped his debut mixtape, Still Going In, with the standout single, Differences, putting the whole city of Atlanta on notice. Then the very next year, he exploded onto the mainstream with Still Going In Reloaded. And the unforgettable single, Type Away, that song, man, it changed everything. He became a household name overnight. Rich Homie Quan was no longer just a local success, he was a force. He teamed up with another rising star, Young Thug, to form Rich Gang under Birdman's Cash Money umbrella. These hits just kept coming. Lifestyle, Tell 'Em Lies, back-to-back classics. He even made huge waves with features like YG's My Nigga and Travis Scott Mamacita. Rich Homie Quan couldn't miss. Mixtapes like I Promise, I Will Never Stop Going In gave us timeless tracks like Walk Through. At that moment, it felt like the skies was the limit for Rich Homie Quan. But just as quickly as it all came together, things started to fall apart. Like so many others in the industry, bad business decisions began to cast a shadow over his career. Rich Homie Quan was signed to Think It's the Game Records, and he found himself tied up in court battles over his contract, fighting for the money that was rightfully his. And then there was his departure from Rich Gang, another blow. Allegedly, Birdman wasn't paying the studios, and a deadly beef was brewing between his former Rich Gang partner Young Thug and his label mate YFN Lucci. The drama, the legal battles, it all slowed him down, but it never broke him. Recently, Rich Homie Quan was making a comeback. He dropped a promising new album and was out here active in the media, doing interviews with people like academics, telling his story, sharing his journey. It felt like the beginning of a new chapter for him, like he was finally getting back to the top. But life doesn't care about your plans. The only thing guaranteed in life is death, and we never know when it's coming. Today, Rich Homie Quan is no longer with us. He is survived by his children, and to them, he wasn't just Rich Homie Quan. He was a father. To the city of Atlanta, he was a legend. To his family, he was a brother and a son. As someone who's the same age and watched Rich Homie Quan rise from nothing to the top of the rap game, this hurts. It's a painful reminder of how fragile life really is. Rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan. Rest in peace, Dequantes Devontay Lamar. Atlanta will never forget you. Damn, man. What's happening, YouTube? Welcome to the LaFleur Lounge with it now. Hey, man. First off, I want to say rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan, man. This one right here, you know, it sounds cliche, but you fucked the city up with this one, man. You fucked the city up with this one, Rich Homie Quan, man. But, you know, rest in peace. And, you know, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. You know, that's what they say. So, you know, I just want to speak on Rich Homie Quan, man. Rich Homie Quan was important to my life just because, you know, I know a lot of people fucked with him in different states and everything, but if you lived in the Atlanta area, y'all know, if you're around my age, I'm 34, me and Rich Homie was the same age, so that means you was probably outside for real in the clubs in Atlanta 2012, 13, 14, 10, 11. You probably was at Obsessions. You probably was at Figure 8. You probably was at Club Miami. You probably was at the Ritz. Yeah, you was probably at all these clubs. You know, it seemed like it was a small knit community, man. I'm talking about no sections for real like that. We had a dance floor. We was just turned up. And Rich Homie Quan was definitely one of the leaders of that playlist, man. I'm talking about that Differences came out. I remember I didn't even like Differences when it first came out. My little cousin was playing that, and I was like, man, what the hell is this? Who is this? You know, Rich Homie Quan had that kind of like squeaky type of voice. He was trying to sing. I ain't really understand it yet. And that's the thing. Rich Homie Quan kind of spearheaded the sound that we hear today back then. And I was just like, man, I don't really understand this. But eventually Differences did, you know, it did, you know, warm up to me. And we would hear it in the club. And I was like, okay, you know, I'm here. The difference between me and you see the whole club, goddamn, with they blue motherfucker picture in the air, going crazy, Coronas and shit. You know, it wasn't really bottles like that then. Everybody was just going into that. You know, I remember listening to it at the Mexican, all types of places, man. I was all on Peter Street. If you was in Atlanta, you know what I'm talking about, man. And so when he came with that some type of way, I was like, oh, nah, he here now. He here now. That's the one. And to this day, I still play that song, man. I still play that. I mean, the bass line is crazy. I watched the video. Rich Homie Quan had the signature afro, clean lineup, man. Rich Homie Quan, man, he was a good dude, man. You know, from what I could tell, he always seemed like he was a good dude. He just, you know, tell them lies. And I just remember the first time I heard Lifestyle, that was after the BET Awards. They debuted it. That was my birthday weekend too. So I knew it was lit, man. We played Lifestyle, and it was only probably 48, 72 hours old. We probably played it over 100 times. I mean, you had to. The song was contagious, bro. It was contagious. My nigga with YG walked through. I remember the meme of Martin, the Martin of Romy Rome dancing the walk through. Man, it was just, hey, Rich Homie Quan, man, he had hits. Rich Homie Quan, he was creative, and you know, he just seemed like he was a good dude. You know, I know people trying to call him a rat and things of that. For me, I always had his back on that because it just seemed like he was secretly recorded. He wasn't in no interrogation room. To me, it just sounded like he was having a discussion with someone, and somebody defied his confidentiality. You know what I mean? So, you know, they were saying he was subpoenaed to come to the trial. You know, we don't know. We never know. We seen him recently talking about Woody, YSL Woody, calling him a liar after, you know, saying that he shot up his barbershop. You know, we just want to remember Young Thug. I mean, we want to remember Rich Homie Quan, I'm sorry, for the positive things that he did. It seemed like he was, you know, getting back into his bag. He was touring. And it just seemed like, man, Atlanta, man, we be losing a lot of legends, man, so young, man. Rest in peace to him. Rest in peace to Bankroll. Rest in peace to Trouble. It just seems like over the last couple years, man, we've been getting hit hard, man. And that's why I say, man, it's truly a different era in Atlanta, man. It's never going to be another the same for at least my generation, because that's us right there. Like I said, man, I watched Rich Homie Quan come from the bottom. Like, you watched it if you was in Atlanta. Rest in peace to Takeoff as well. We saw Rich Homie. I was at Obsessions the night that Rich Homie Quan was supposed to do like his first big performance, and it's on the east side. You know what I mean? So that was a big deal, and he got locked up across the street for weed charges, man. So, hey, man, you know, things happen. I'm never gonna question God. And you know, one thing I will say before I get out of here is, if it is true that he passed away from a pill, you know, we these days the pills is laced with fent. You know, you can get you a bad pill, or you could just take too many of whatever you have. We gotta be very careful about these pills, man, because I don't do pills, so I don't know the feeling that it brings. I'm expecting that it probably brings some type of like euphoric feeling. We gotta ask ourselves, man, getting pills is a dangerous game to play, man. It really is. People are putting their own touch of the fentanyl in there, trying to get you an extra high, trying to stretch day pills, you know what I'm saying? Pressing pills, fake pills, things of that. We have to be careful, man. I would advise anybody who's thinking about using pills or on pills. I know it's harder than said, but you got to stop, man, because it's not healthy for you. And I know we all have our own vices, but the pill game is showing you that you could take nothing but good pills, you know, prescription pills. But if you take one bad pill, your life is finished. And that is something when you have responsibilities, you have a family, and you just have a life to live. You ain't even get to see your dreams. You ain't even get to finish your dreams. Fortunate for Rich Homie, he did get to live a full life. But what I'm saying is, you gotta be careful, because one wrong pill will take you out, and we still got a lot of life to live. So I want to just pray for Rich Homie Quan. I want to send my condolences to his family, condolences to his friends, condolences to the fans, and let's celebrate Rich Homie Quan. Let's keep his name alive. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan, man. We out, baby. Boom.
Just LaFlair.
It's him.